Well, I'm on the road again. Just a short trip, just to get my road legs again. Got the camper in behind. It's the first time I've been out with it for over 4 months. It's now October, it's getting colder, it's fall, it's beautiful, and I'm hoping to do a little camping. Weather is not terrific. It was raining, it's just cloudy now. But it's not snowing, it's not super windy. Could always be worse. Well, I'm back on the gravel roads again. But this one isn't too bad yet. Oh, looks like I'm there. Spednic Lake. Here we come. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's been a long wait, but it's so worth it. Oh, it's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. I really needed this. I mean, it's been a while, and last little bit, I was kind of under the weather. I went to an auction, and I don't know, somebody there was Typhoid Mary because I got some kind of a bug, and it took me a while to recover, but I'm doing fine now. Right here, I am in New Brunswick, Canada, but across on the other side of the lake is Maine, good old USA, and this is the St. Croix waterway. The St. Croix River is down there, and it's also up there at the other side of the lake as well. It's also a Canadian heritage river system, as French colonization of North America began at the mouth of the St. Croix River in 1604. British loyalists also crossed these waters to contribute to the founding of Canada. And this is an area that's been put aside both on the Canada and the US side for people to come out and enjoy the wilderness. It's exactly how it should be. Spednic Lake Provincial Park is about 3 miles from the St. Croix Maine border, or about 15 kilometers from McAdam, New Brunswick on Highway 630. There's lots of places you can drive an RV in. No services, of course. You're not going to get a hookup, but you do get, there's pit toilets, and they're well spaced. You get a picnic table, and you get a fire pit, and you get a phenomenal view. A lot of these places are right on the edge of the lake. And, you know, perfect for a kayak, a canoe. I think it's perfect for everything. I wish I'd found out about this before, but somebody who'd seen my videos recommended it, and I thank them for it. Well, the forecast is for rain, so might as well prepare. Get the awning down. And it's been a little iffy lately. Still works. Yeah. Kind of muddy behind there. I think if I'm going to keep this trailer, I'm going to have to buy the new canvas, the new awning. When it gets to, when you've had something for a few years, this is what happens. Things break down. And I've had quite a few things break down the last little while. Minor things, like I had to replace the little wing nut right there. And the awning is starting to leak a little bit. But it still works for now. Well, amazingly enough, I have a great cell signal here. But it's not because of Canada. It's because of the US. Thank you, AT&T. I'm glad I've got a roaming plan. Well, there it is. I got my chair. So I'm definitely settled in under the awning. It hasn't started raining yet, but it will. So I'm protected under here. And it's got a little bit cooler, so I've put a warmer jacket on in my toque. Want to be warm, and I love October. I think that's one of my favorite months in the north, because it usually is at the end of the summer, whatever you had a chance to do in the summer, and the inevitable is going to happen up here. The snow's going to fly, and October is your reward before it gets a little crazy. And I love it. A lot of people, of course, they take October and November and they go down south, but I'm not ready to go down south. I love it here. This to me is the best time of year. There are no insects. There's so much to see. There's still a lot of color. There hasn't been a major frost, so the leaves are still on the trees, although they've changed color, which is beautiful. And it's green, it's red, it's yellow. It's lovely. And, just because I have to put on a couple of layers of clothes is not a deterrent. This is just perfect. It's never too hot in October. And that's why it's such a good month. I do like May, especially after a brutal winter. May is your reward for getting through it. But after a nice summer, I love the fall. Now, of course, the question might be, what are my plans for the rest of the year and for the year that's coming up? And I don't really know. I do want to travel. I always want to travel, and I'm sort of haven't been traveling as much as I'd like to in the last little while. Especially, the issues I had with the camper. And let's be honest, when I first got it, it was used, and I enjoyed fixing it up. But after a while, I'm no longer improving it. I think I am just repairing, and that's where you got to think maybe it's time to look for something else. And I am. And it's the same with the Jeep. It's done me well, and again, it needs a little upkeep. So I am looking for both, a new vehicle and a new way to camp. And I don't know, the sky's the limit. I don't have any biases towards anything. It's just a matter of finding what suits me, what is within my budget, and what I think I'd enjoy. So I don't know. I'm looking around, but I haven't made any decisions yet. Always open for ideas, but it's not going to be massive. I am not getting a big RV ever. I like something small. I like something compact. I like to get into the little places that the big rigs can't get. And I want to try to save on fuel economy a little, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But as far as where I'm going, don't know. Well, it is raining and it is getting darker. My chair is getting wet, so I think I'm going to pack it in for the night. It's supposed to be just cloudy tomorrow, so hopefully I'll be able to go on a couple of trails at least. And if the wind's not too bad, I can get out in the water with the kayak. Anyway, calling it a night. inside, pretty much the same. Same table, and I'm still struggling with the Mac. But hopefully I can spend my time tonight, do a little bit of editing, and you won't have to wait too long for the next video. Oh, this is gonna be so awesome. Definitely is. Hot coffee and steaming pancakes. That's the way to start off a morning. Blueberry pancakes. One thing I'm always dealing with is condensation. I mean, when you're sleeping at night, you know, all your breath steams up the inside of a trailer. It's, you know, it's always there. I don't care what kind of trailer you have. The smaller ones, you see it more. But I do have the heater on, so that should dry it out a bit. Now it's time for a more serious hike, which I put on my more serious boots. I mean, some people want to dress up for a hike, you know, put on their spandex pants and all their fancy clothing. The only thing I care about is proper shoes. And these are proper hiking boots. Wouldn't go into the woods without them. Fortunately, there are trails at Spednic Lake, and today's is Boulder Walk Trail, 3.4 kilometers. Oh boy. Well, some parts of this trail are a little bit more challenging than others because it's a known fact that eventually every tree falls. I absolutely love the smell of the forest, and I say that a lot, but it's so invigorating. And I'm sure there's like a psychological effect that's going on there. You're at peace, you know, the pace of you walking. It's just, you can feel it, you can smell it. But apparently, there's a physical aspect to it as well, because the trees are actually releasing, essential oils to fight pests and bacteria. And the word for it is phytoncides. And the way I remember that word is because the tree is fighting from the inside to protect itself. And when humans go out in the forest and breathe that in, it's beneficial to us as well. And apparently, breathing in the phytoncides increases your white blood cell count, and it helps with immunities. So if you're sick and you want to get well, or if you just run down, just go out in the forest even for 20 minutes and you'll feel a lot better. Now, apparently the Japanese actually have a word for it, and I'm not going to try to pronounce it. I don't speak Japanese. But it means forest bathing. And they've recognized that a walk in the woods is really good for your body, your mind, and your soul. Now, it is kind of ironic that, I had a bit of a bug before I got here, and I had to get well enough to get to the forest when it was the forest that was going to heal me anyway. But that's the problem when you travel alone, because I was just not well enough to, set up everything, get the car and the camper prepared, and to drive here. But now I'm here. I absolutely love it. Oh yeah, you gotta breathe that in. Thank you, tree. Wow. And of course, it's gorgeous. Now on the other side is a campground, but you can't drive to it. The only way you can get to it, or take a canoe, or in my case, a kayak. It's time for lunch. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if a few people look at this video and say, boring. But you know what? I'm okay with that. As a matter of fact, boredom is something to look forward to, because it means you've cleared your mind, there's nothing bothering you, you're taking in the surroundings, and with boredom typically comes creativity, ideas, because there's nothing cluttering your brain. So embrace boredom. I love it. I am not out here solely for adventure. And anybody that travels strictly for adventure, they're probably going to be disappointed eventually. Because whatever you see, whatever excites you, you're always going to be trying to one-up it. It's like a drug. You did something exciting, you want to tell all your friends about it and share it with your relatives, and so you got to try something else, and you got to try something else. It's like addictive, and it's disappointing. Embrace the boredom. Forget about the adventure. It'll come in its own time. That was a great hike. Now, one of my rules when I'm out in the woods is I don't forage. I leave everything as is. But this trip was an exception because I did take 3 items out of the forest. 1, 2, and of course, 3. I really wish people wouldn't litter. I mean, seriously, what is wrong with these people? Does this stuff like rot the brain so they don't think that maybe they shouldn't leave their garbage out here? I think in a perfect world, I think the people that supply this stuff should be responsible as well. And I think if you find something like this in the woods, you should write to the manufacturer and say, hey, can you donate to the forest, to the cleanup program, or have one yourself? Because nowhere do I read, please don't litter. It says don't drink and drive, which is also important, but I think in big words, do not litter should be part of their campaign. So this is my special meal for the night. It's spiral pasta with a sauce made from cream of mushroom soup and frozen veggies, which I thought out. I just put them in a sandwich bag and kept them in my refrigerator. They're great for a few days. Easy and very filling. The next morning, the fog was as thick as cream. Although serene, it wasn't the best for kayaking. So I waited it out to see if it would lift. And eventually, it did. Well, the sky's finally cleared. I can go out in my kayak. So calm and so gorgeous. Now, first on the list is one of those islands. I'm dying to see what's on them. Got to be careful in these rocks. There could be some just below the surface. Which would give me a little bit of a bump. Now, one thing that's different this kayak trip is I'm actually wearing at least some appropriate clothing because the water is colder. And when I was in, I think it was Wisconsin, I picked up a wetsuit. It's kind of hidden, but you can see here, I've got just the upper half of a wetsuit, not the bottom half. You know, I did try a full suit on, and because my legs are really short, it was super uncomfortable. And the other thing is, I'm an older guy, and eventually I'm gonna have to pee. So, you know, when I get into the shore, that's probably one of the things that's gonna be on my mind, and it would be really hard to do it with a wetsuit without a zipper. But this gives me some protection that if I do go overboard, I can keep at least a little bit more warm. Well, this is cool. I'm on an island. Not a very big island, but it's an island just the same. And it looks like an actually really good place to camp. And over here, I see there actually has been a camp. There's the fire pit. And guess what? Beer cans. Even the islands aren't immune. But it would be a really nice place to camp. Okay, that's it for the islands. There's a little mayfly. Guess it's got the wrong month. Well, I'll put him on the kayak. If he flies away and lands in the water again, that's his problem. Well, I ran aground. It's a real challenge to kayak between these rocks. There's a lot of shallow spots. Okay, I think I need to get into deeper waters. I'm close to the place where I'd hike to. I know it's somewhere around here because I want to go to that campsite that is only available or only reachable by canoe or kayak. And I think I see it up there. this is so cool. It's called Diggity. And it's actually a historic site. And there's a plaque here. Before it was an early lumber camp, the site was popular to the First Nations people for hundreds of years. But as for camping, look at this. Fire pit, picnic table. If I'm not mistaken, there's even a bathroom. Let's check that out. It's a loo with a view. Answering the call of nature while admiring her view is a pleasure you can only get in the woods. But in the fall, the view is simply stunning, especially as the ripples on the water reflect the sun onto the trees. You know, I'd really love to camp here, but I didn't bring a tent. Next time I'm kayaking, definitely will. Well, that was fun, but it's time to head back. Waves are getting a little more choppy. As I paddled, I spotted something in the trees. A bald eagle was keeping its eye on me. The water, the earth, and the creatures that inhabit this place exist in perfect harmony right now. But I was just a guest in this paradise, and it was time to leave. So the good news is I think I found everything I was needing. A little bit of exercise, that rejuvenating effect of the forest, and that spectacular view. I was refreshed. I was inspired. And a new man. All ready to go. That was fun. Hope to do this again. Spednic Lake, well worth a visit. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out my others as well. And if you'd like to visit this place, please keep it clean and please keep it natural.